Bleed With Me takes place during a winter getaway at an isolated cabin, where a self-destructive young woman named Rowan, played by Lee Marshall, becomes convinced that her best friend Emily, played by Lauren Beatty, is stealing her blood. This is the latest film to hit Shudder as an original release after having a festival run in 2020, and it's written and directed by Amelia Moses, who previously directed another horror film from earlier this year, Bloodthirsty, which also starred Lauren Beatty. And similar to Bloodthirsty, this is another slow burn horror movie set primarily in one location with only a limited number of characters. Besides Marshall and Beatty, the only other actor in this film is Aris Tiros, playing Emily's boyfriend Brendan. Now, there have been a ton of these slower moving horror films this year, especially on Shudder, and they all seem to share a lot of the same elements. They're shot well, competently directed, well acted, have a nice atmosphere, though they feel limited due to what I assume is a shoestring budget. The entire story is essentially confined to this one house in which our three characters stay, and most of the story consists simply of Rowan waking up at night, experiencing a vision, or seeing Emily do something suspicious, and then suddenly blacking out, and then when she's awake and lucid the next day, Emily, who starts off the movie being very friendly and kind, acting odder and odder, getting more antagonistic as the weekend goes on. But we're left guessing for much of the film if this is just a rift in their friendship, or if Emily is really as sinister as Rowan suspects. On top of that, Rowan and Brendan do become a bit closer as well, and that also does lead to a bit of tension as Emily gets a little jealous. In some ways, it reminded me of a more horror-centric version of last year's Black Bear with Aubrey Plaza, as the two films do share the same setting and one of the same sources of tension, though to be clear, they both go into wildly different directions. But this felt a little rinse and repeat, if I had to be perfectly honest. It basically found different ways to hit some of the same few notes, but it would slowly escalate the tension and heighten the bizarre and off-putting behavior little by little, while not doing anything too layered or overly complex. Like I said, it felt like there was only so much that Moses was able to do, as it seemed like there were some clear budget limitations. So it felt more like an exercise for the cast and crew in being able to work with what they're given, especially since the film has a short runtime of only 80 minutes with credits. Though I will say, what we got was still fine. It is clear Moses does have a keen eye for building the proper atmosphere for a solid horror movie, between the shot compositions, the lighting, the score, and even some of the writing. And I really would like to see what she's capable of when she increases the scale of her productions. There's a great sense of claustrophobia established, but at the same time, it can feel confined. And it is also very well acted. I thought Lee Marshall was really solid as the very broken Rowan, who has a myriad of personal issues that were showcased well here, while Lauren Beatty gave another worthwhile performance as Emily, with the rift in their friendship being the driving force behind much of the film's suspense. There are also a handful of character moments that do help us stay invested, such as learning everyone's backstories, which felt naturally weaved into the dialogue, rather than like an obligatory exposition dump. I was just hoping for a bit more. It's a slow-moving, restrained film overall, with a repetitive nature at times, and because it can only do so much in terms of heightening some of the action, it doesn't quite leave as emotional of an impact as it could have. But it's definitely not a bad movie. It's not a must-see or anything, but if you have Shudder, it makes for a decent enough casual or one-time watch, and I do hope to see more from Amelia Moses in the near future. Bleed With Me gets a 6 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Bleed With Me, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you think the story worked? Do you have a favorite one-location horror movie? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.